everybody, welcome to my channel, and if you are new, my name is Chris. Welcome. Tonight is a highly requested video. So many of you have reached out to me in the past month and asked me to do a video offering affordable alternatives to some more expensive designer and niche fragrances, and I am here to deliver. I have so much material for this type of video, it's going to have to be another series. I literally have enough for 3 different videos. So let's just get started on tonight's video. The one thing I do want to say is every single alternative I have today is significantly less expensive than its more expensive counterpart. The price of my alternatives might not be what some of you consider affordable, and I just finished doing a big series over the end of summer and early fall about really affordable fragrances, and I will link them down below. So with that out of the way, let's start with the first one. One of my favorite designer fragrances is Mon Guerlain, the Intense, the EDB Intense. I love this fragrance. This is a patchouli lavender vanilla fragrance. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I think at full price runs, I don't know, maybe in the low to mid 100s. I have an amazing alternative that I did speak about in my video, Smell Expensive on a Budget, and it is Guess Seductive Noir. This fragrance right here is 80% Mon Guerlain and maybe 10% of my other fragrance, Angel, the EDT version. If you like Mon Guerlain and a teensy splash of Angel, you will love this, and what you will love more is that it is significantly less expensive. I think this was around $22. I personally have a tester. I'm sure it still runs in the $30 or less. Even the notes are very similar. The only difference is I think Mon Guerlain is known for the lavender note. In the EDP, it's not as prominent. And in Seductive Noir, there's no lavender. I believe there's sage instead. So there's sage. There is patchouli. I definitely get patchouli. I don't think patchouli is listed as a note, but I definitely get patchouli. There's vanilla, tonka, and this one has vetiver. So performance is great. It lasts at least as long or longer than Mon Guerlain, and it is a fabulous alternative to those 2 fragrances, mostly Mon Guerlain. One of the most popular gourmand vanillas in the past several years is Lira by Xerjoff, and I used to have that fragrance until I found this baby right here, which I think is just as good or might even be better than the original Lira, and it is so much more affordable. And it is Vanille by Franck Bocklet. So Lira and Vanille are both citrusy vanillas. They both remind me of a citrusy vanilla pound cake. Lira, I want to say, is like blood orange, whereas Vanille has lime and ginger, so it's still very bright in the beginning. It has a nice brightness in the opening. It has a little bit of spiciness. It's got a touch of cardamom that Lira does not have. They both are very heavy gourmand vanillas in the dry down. They also both have caramel in them, I believe. It's a little bit milkier in Lira and a little bit more, and smells a little bit more like burnt sugar here. And they both have just a touch of florals, and I mean just a skosh of floral somewhere in the background. As far as performance, Franck Bocklet Vanille actually lasts longer on me. It's not as strong at first, it's not as loud, but it's more tenacious, it lasts longer. Whereas I found that Lira did not have the performance and longevity that Franck Bocklet Vanille did, and as far as price goes, I got this on the gray market, and I know I paid well under $100. This line has gotten a little bit more popular on social media, I would say, over the past year, so prices might have creeped up just a bit, but I would guess that they are right around $100, so that's significantly less than what Lira is. Lira is well over 200. For a 100 ml bottle, it's close to 300. This is a 100 ml bottle. I want to say I got it for around $78, so significant difference in the price and a great alternative for Lira. The next affordable option that I want to talk about is a fragrance that smells very similar to both Spicebomb and Spicebomb Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. And I actually didn't realize it till after I had the fragrance. My husband has both Spicebomb and Spicebomb Extreme, and I got this little beauty, Spice and Black Vanilla by Cremo. And it took me a while until I figured out that this smells a lot like, I would say, the combination of Spicebomb and Spicebomb Extreme, except I like this one a lot better. This is a wonderful cold weather vanilla. It's a spicy vanilla. It has bourbon vanilla, chai spices, cashmeran, and vetiver. So this is a beautifully spicy, I would say softly spiced vanilla. It is absolutely gorgeous. And this one, if you don't know, the line of Cremo, they are a line of shaving products. I got this one at my local Target. Some people have told me they could get it at Amazon. I would say this is the one time, there are only a couple instances I would recommend purchasing a fragrance on Amazon. One would be if it's incredibly affordable, like $50 or less, because there are so many counterfeits on Amazon. I have so many stories from other people I know purchasing more expensive fragrances on Amazon only to get a fake, and nobody's going to be counterfeiting a really affordable fragrance. This one is $22. You're just not going to make any money by producing a counterfeit. So I would say that and Middle Eastern fragrances on Amazon are fairly safe because it is a common marketplace for a lot of the Middle Eastern fragrance brands. So this is at Target and Amazon, and I think someone else told me they found one at Walmart for $22. I would say longevity on this one isn't quite what Spicebomb is. I would put this around, it's a little softer. I would put this around the 4 to 5 hour mark, unless you layer with something else, but an incredibly affordable vanilla, a great alternative to Spicebomb. I personally have it because it smells delicious and it's great vanilla for the cold weather. Sticking with the theme of vanilla, it's a great time to wear vanilla fragrances. It's very cold outside, and I love to wear vanilla fragrances in the cold. One of the most famous vanilla fragrances, and one that some people consider the ultimate vanilla, is one by Indult, and it is called Tihota. I have heard other fragrance reviewers say that this was their very favorite vanilla, and it is a decadent, sweet, oh my gosh, this is a sweet, powdery, musky vanilla. It is delicious. It is like the most decadent, sweet vanilla pudding you can imagine, with some powdery touches and some musk. It is absolutely delicious if you really love the gourmand type of vanilla. And I have spoken about this amazing alternative a couple times, and a great affordable alternative is a fragrance oil. I used to not like fragrance oils. Now I'm a big fan. I have several fragrance oils and I'm a big fan of them. Now you can layer them. You can wear them in lieu of a fragrance. I think they're great. But it is Vanilla Musk by Niemet. This brand is carried at my local Whole Foods, and that's where I get mine. This one was all of $15.99, and this will get you about 80% to Tihota. So if you want to amp it up a little bit and get 90% there, then you can add one of my favorite body lotions of all time, Vanilla Bean Noel by Bath & Body Works. If you want to put these two together, you are going to get 90% to Tihota Town, a town that I love. I want to be in Tihota Town. It's a great place to be. But anyways, if you want to put these two together, you are going to get 90% to Tihota Land at a much lower price. And this oil is very tenacious. My daughter borrowed this from me about a month ago, right before she left for school. I could still smell her when she came home. She smelled like a delicious vanilla cookie. So no need to buy the expensive Tihota. Next up is one of my favorite designer fragrances. I have spoken about this many, many times. In my opinion, this is just class in a bottle. And this is Bottega Veneta, the EDP. This is the original. So this is a sheep fragrance. So it has pink pepper, there's patchouli, it has oak moss, and a little bit of jasmine way in the background. This is just a gorgeous signature scent, classy feminine fragrance. However, it runs around mid $150. I want to say it's well above the $100 range. So an affordable alternative is a celebrity fragrance by Rihanna, and it is called Rouge, in this giant 4.2 ounce bottle that runs around $22 to $25. This will get you to about 70% of Bottega Veneta. So the only differences are this one has plum. This one has a noticeable plum note, and it's a little bit sweet, and it is just a touch artificial. And the flowers are different. This one, I think it has like lemon blossom or lemon blossom tree, whereas Bottega Veneta has jasmine. Other than that, they're very similar. This one isn't as smooth. It's not as well-rounded, but as far as performance, I actually get the same performance, or this one ekes out Bottega Veneta by just a hair, and it is at a fraction of the cost. So a very affordable option to one of my favorite designer fragrances of all time. One of the most popular fragrances for men right now is a fragrance by Yves Saint Laurent, and it is called Tuxedo. And guess what? I had a really big decant of Tuxedo, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And then I discovered the fragrance I have right in front of me, and there was no need to ever think about buying a full bottle for myself or my spouse, because this one is basically Tuxedo in a bottle at a fraction of the cost. And the one I'm talking about is Moustache. This is the EDP. The EDT is very different. The EDP and Tuxedo are pretty close to mirror images. This one, Moustache, will get you 90% there. It has cedar, there's orange, there's pink pepper, a little bit of vanilla and benzoin in the dry down, and they are about as similar as you can get. I bought this bottle almost 2 years ago. Well, it's at least a year and a half. And when I bought it, it was around $50, maybe $50 or just under that, maybe $45 to $50. Whereas a full bottle of Yves Saint Laurent is gonna cost around, well, pretty close to $300, $250 and up. So Moustache is a fabulous alternative. Listen, you do not need Tuxedo. If you wanted to get Tuxedo, it's actually hard to find. It was on your wish list. Don't even think about it. This one is just as good in my opinion, and the longevity is great. Performance is stellar. A fabulous alternative in my opinion. If any of you have been following me for some time, you'll know that I'm one of the very few people that still finds Baccarat Rouge 540 an utter masterpiece. I love it. I haven't got sick of it yet, because not many people where I live wear it, and I still absolutely love it, and I wear it rather frequently. I actually wear it to work, and when I wear this to work, it is like clockwork. People will ask me what I'm wearing. And if somebody's not really into perfumes, they're not familiar with perfumes, first of all, Baccarat Rouge 540, that's a mouthful. That's a lot for someone to remember, and it's incredibly expensive. If you're not in the perfume world, you're gonna have sticker shock when you look at the price. And so what I will usually say, especially if I don't know the person very well, I will say the name of my perfume is very long and it's somewhat on the pricey side. However, Bath & Body Works makes a great lotion, and they used to make a perfume. I have the perfume version of this, but they make a great alternative. It's a little bit different, but it's much more wallet friendly, and it's in the stars. This is my second lotion. I'm almost out of it. And I also had this small sprayer. So they did at one time make the perfume, and I actually used to carry the travel spray in my bag. But this is a great alternative, a much more affordable option. It's a little bit fresher. It's a fresher version. It doesn't have that sticky sweetness. It doesn't have that cotton candy sweetness of Baccarat 540, but it is a similar vibe, and one that I recommend to people who ask me what I'm wearing, and I know that they're not interested in anything ridiculously expensive. They really want something affordable and easy to find. So that's a great lotion-based option. And I used to wear this all the time until a wonderful friend of mine actually got me Baccarat 540 lotion for my birthday. And so I don't wear this as much. I used to wear it all the time when I didn't have my lotion. Now, sticking with lotion alternatives, let's talk about the next combination of fragrances. So the next fragrance I want to talk about is Yves Saint Laurent. This is Libre Intense, EDP. And this was, I did not like the original when it first came out at all. I like this one much better. I bought it because my daughter really liked it on me when we were testing it out in Ulta one day. However, I recently sprayed this on a hot day and I haven't been able to wear it since. It just was so strong, gave me a headache, and that is usually the kiss of death for me. I'm not getting rid of it because I know I used to like it. I really did like it. It's much better in the cold weather. I'm gonna give it a break for about a month, and the bottle is one of the prettiest bottles ever. However, a very affordable lotion, I'm telling you, this is a dupe in lotion form, is also by Bath & Body Works, and it's called Fairytale. This is basically Libre Intense in lotion form. Many of you can't wear fragrances to work, you don't like heavy fragrances, and this one in Libre can be very intense. So this one is a great way to get the same fragrance profile in a much more subdued and much more affordable fashion. So this is a Fairytale is a great alternative to Libre Intense. Okay, the next fragrance I want to talk about is one of my favorite fragrances by Parfums de Marly, and it's one of my favorite everyday fragrances. It is Meliora. However, even though this is a gorgeously composed fragrance, it is very, very expensive. It is a beautiful blackcurrant, raspberry, watery rose, musk, wood, and green fragrance. This is a gorgeous, fruity, floral perfume with just a touch of cleanliness. It's clean without being soapy. It has musk in the dry down, a little bit of wood, and a skosh of greenness. And the price tag for this runs well north, I guess it's around $300. On me, this has great performance. It's long lasting and has a really nice scent bubble, and I do like to wear it. This is one that I wear to work, and it's a compliment getter. A wonderful alternative that will get you, in my opinion, around 70% there. And I just did a head-to-head comparison of these two fragrances. Thank you to all who watched it. But anyways, a great alternative to that is Amethyst by Lalique. These two, and guess what? Guess who is the perfumer or the nose for both of these? It's the same person. It's Natalie Lorson. So it's no surprise that there are a lot of similarities. Amethyst came out first. Meliora came out, I want to say 6 years later. And there are differences for sure. This one, Amethyst, has a lot of dark berries. I want to say blackberry, blueberry, boysenberry, blackcurrant, and strawberry or raspberry, maybe it's strawberry. It's a burst of dark fruits. However, what I also get are the twigs and the leaves associated with those fruits. It's almost as if you put them in a vat and you wanted to make wine, and you got in there and you stomped it for an hour, and the juices and the twigs and the leaves, those all ran together, and what would waft up to your nose after stomping on everything would be very similar to the opening of this. So it's much more fruity, much more green, much more twiggy. As these dry down, they both have florals in the mid, they both have rose. So the middle notes aren't that different, but the opening and the dry down to me are very different. This one is very, very musky. So this is musky and woody, but I find this is kind of a musk bomb, whereas Meliora doesn't have that much musk. It's cleaner, it has a little bit, it's smoothed out, it doesn't have as much sharp edges. And I will tell you from doing my recent video, it was like half and half. I had half people tell me they liked Amethyst better, and I had half the people tell me they liked Meliora better. So it's really personal preference, but I will tell you, Amethyst is about a third of the cost. No, it's much more affordable. This one runs about $30 to $33. This one, as we talked about, runs $300. And I would say longevity is about the same. Obviously, from a price standpoint, a significant difference. The next fragrance I want to talk about is a fragrance I discovered in a sample swap with a friend about a year ago. It's by Armani Privé, and it is called Bleu Turquoise, and I have the little sample here. I even went as far as to find out where I could get it and how much it was going to cost me. And at that time, it was very hard to find. There were rumors it was discontinued, and the only place I could find it was Selfridges for around $350. And so at that point, I kind of put the sample away and forgot about it until I smelled a fragrance from one of the newer brands I discovered maybe about 2 months ago, and it's getting a little bit more traction here on YouTube. The fragrance company is called Maissa. I have purchased several fragrances myself. I have been given some fragrances in PR, and one of the fragrances I got in my last order was one called Soir d'Afrique. When I smelled this, I remember thinking, this smells similar. This reminds me of something I had smelled before. And so I dug out my sample, and I realized it was Bleu Turquoise. This isn't a dupe. It's not 100%, it's not even 90%. I would put them 80% similar. They are both very unique, salty, spicy, salty vanillas. So Bleu Turquoise has salt and incense and vanilla. I think it's known for those notes, whereas what I get in Soir d'Afrique, which makes it a little bit different, this one is slightly more aquatic. So it's just a little bit more aquatic. I think this has like sea notes or watery notes, but it has pepper, there's incense, there's salt in here. They both have some sort of florals. I want to say this one is either ylang or jasmine. Soir d'Afrique dries down a little bit more ambery, and Bleu Turquoise dries down a little bit more salty, peppery, and vanilla. So I think this one is a little bit sweeter and has more prominent aquatic notes, but very, very similar. I would say maybe 85% similar. However, the price is very different, particularly since currently they are running a special. And this one, Soir d'Afrique, runs, first of all, can we talk about, I should have mentioned this before, can we talk about the bottle? The bottle is very well made. It's sturdy glass. It's very solid, and I love the magnetic caps. All of their bottles are like this, very well made. And the 50 ml, the price for the 50 ml runs around, oh gosh, I looked it up today. I want to say $122. And with the current discount, that's significantly less. I don't know, maybe in the 80s. $82, something like that. Whereas Bleu Turquoise runs $350. I just checked the price yesterday and I could only find it on Selfridges. So a wonderful alternative to Bleu Turquoise. Many people might even like this one better. It's easier to find, it's easier to get, and much more friendly on the pocketbook. I have no idea how many I've shown so far. Like I said, I have so much material. I have enough for 3 of these videos. I'll do a couple more comparisons, and I'll save the rest of them for part 2, let's say in December sometime. So again, another very popular fragrance, very expensive, by Parfums de Marly. This is Delina, the original. Many, many people like it. However, as we all know, Parfums de Marly fragrances are very expensive, and they all, when they're not on sale or at a discount, hover around the $300 price point. However, another one in my collection, a nice designer alternative, is Carolina Herrera, Very Good Girl. And guess what? Guess who is the perfumer for both of these? You guessed it. It's Quentin Biche. He created both of them, so it's another one of those. It's no surprise that there are a lot of similarities. I would say that, you know, they're both rose lychee combinations. This one does not have rhubarb. Very Good Girl has pink pepper, I want to say. And I like to refer to Very Good Girl as the less edgier version of Delina. It doesn't have any of that edginess. It's a little bit more mainstream, and I think it's a little bit more universally appealing, because I know that that rhubarb, that green rhubarb note, can turn a lot of people off, and has turned a lot of people off, as does the price. So this one is the big bottle, and this one runs, I think, I want to say $122. I actually got it on sale at Sephora when they were having a sale a while ago, and I had a gift card. So even at full price, it's runs about a third of the price of Delina. And it doesn't have, it's not the powerhouse, it doesn't have the performance of Delina, but it gets me a solid 6 hours. Delina's a powerhouse. It's gonna last, you know, 8, 10, 12 hours, depending on the person, the weather, etc. But Carolina Herrera, Very Good Girl, has great performance and is a much more budget-friendly alternative. Again, if you have followed me for some time, you know that one of my very favorite fragrances of all time is Milky Musk by Paloma de Parfum. This made my 10 fragrances for life video. Yes, this is one of my top 10 fragrances right now. It is one of the most realistic, outdoorsy, woody fragrances I own. It has this beautiful, fresh, chipped sandalwood feel to it, almost as if you chipped wood off the tree and it had resins hanging onto it and you sniffed it fresh. It is very, very realistic. It has a nice creaminess to it. It's creamy and milky and very, very musky. It has a very beautiful, strong musk and probably a little bit of fig, maybe a Scotia fig in the background. Controversial whether or not it's there. I could buy it because there is a slight greenness. But anyways, one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and longevity is great on me. When I went to sample fragrances at one of my very favorite perfume stores down in Houston, I went to the Juliet Has a Gun counter, and I was sniffing a bunch of perfumes that I had never tried before. And I tried Sunny Side Up and I sprayed it on the dabber, and immediately I thought, oh my gosh, this smells so similar to my beloved Milky Musk. Now there are some differences. Juliet Has a Gun or Sunny Side Up has some coconut in it. It's not as woody. I think it's a touch sweeter, and I think the musk in Milky Musk is a little bit more prominent. However, it's pretty darn close. I would put it very close. I would put it around 70, at least 70% similar. I don't know about the longevity. I just wore it that one day. I just tried it that one day and wore it that one day, and I would say longevity was pretty similar. Milky Musk on me lasts a solid 6 to 8 hours. My one experience with Juliet Has a Gun, it was similar, maybe just under that, but this one, Milky Musk, runs over $200 for the 100 ml bottle. And on the gray market, Sunny Side Up was running around $78 last time I checked. So a very nice, affordable option for one of my favorite fragrances right now. Okay, I think I'll just do one more because I'm running out of time and I don't want this to be a marathon, and I want to have material for the other videos in the future. Again, if you're a return viewer, you know one of my favorite houses right now is the house of EBK. I have every fragrance except two, the two fragrances I don't own. They just weren't my cup of tea. Other than that, I'm a big fan. I love the house. However, it's expensive. It can be hard to order. It hasn't been very easy for some people, but one of my favorite fragrances from EBK for the spring and summer is Ruby in Vanilla Neroli. This is a gorgeous vanilla orange blossom amber fragrance. In my opinion, it is one of the prettiest orange blossom fragrances around, and it is an orange blossom fragrance for orange blossom haters because it has such a beautiful non-artificial orange blossom paired with the EBK vanilla, and together they're just beautiful. It lasts all day. It's like 2-3 sprays will get you 12 hours. The longevity on EBK is amazing. Going back to the house of Maissa, I purchased this Discovery Coffret almost a couple months ago. They sent me a bottle of something. I can't even remember what they sent me. It was a couple months ago. Oh, I know what it was. It was Destin des Anges. I've talked about it before. I will talk about it again. A gorgeous gourmand vanilla. A vanilla for gourmand lovers, and I will talk about that in the future. I was so impressed with it that I wanted to explore the house further, so I bought their bestsellers Coffret right here. One is missing because the one that's missing is called Wood. I love it. I ended up buying that full bottle, and the travel spray is in my purse. I keep that in my purse with me. But one of the fragrances in here is called Jawhara. Now, this is a great perfume house. I think they're all made well, just like any perfume house. Some of them are more up my wheelhouse than others, and they have so many fragrances. There's something for everyone in this brand. But Jawhara, when I smelled it, I immediately thought, oh my gosh, this is a beautiful orange blossom vanilla amber fragrance. And I remember smelling it and thinking, this smells similar to something I own, and then the bell went off. This one smells very similar. Again, it's not a dupe, and this one came out first. I think Jawhara actually came out first. It's a very similar profile. This is a gorgeous orange blossom vanilla and amber. They are very similar. I would put them 85 to 90% similar. This again is an orange blossom. I think it's an orange blossom for orange blossom haters. The differences are the orange blossom in this one is a little bit more prominent in the opening. It's a little bit more detectable, and this one dries down just a hair sweeter. It has an amberiness in the base that I do not get in Ruby and Vanilla. They're both beautiful orange blossom vanilla fragrances, and again, with that 30% discount that's currently going on, that will not go on forever, the discount is even that much greater. So a beautiful orange blossom amber fragrance and a wonderful alternative to Ruby and Vanilla Intense. I think I'm going to stop here. This will give me plenty of material for parts 2 and part 3. I think I'll do part 2 in December, and maybe part 3, some fragrances for the warmer weather. So anyways, I am dying to hear what you think of the fragrances I've talked about today. I'm also dying to hear about any affordable alternatives to some higher end fragrances, or fragrances that are harder to find or harder to get, or might even be discontinued. I'd love to hear about it in the comment section. You guys know I have purchased so many fragrances from your recommendations, and I have been happy with all of them. So keep the comments coming, keep the recommendations coming. Thank you again for everybody who came by, and if you like my content, I would love it if you give me a big thumbs up. Join my channel by subscribing, and I will see you on the next one.